Hi guys, today I'm going to show you how I make one of my standard green juices. I drink 2 of these a day. I personally use an Omega masticating juicer. It gets more out of the greens. The cleanup's pretty easy. The process for a green juice to cut it, drink it, and clean it all up takes about 20 minutes for me, which is like a standard meal. It's my longest meal of the day because most of the other meals are less time intensive, so I really feel like the raw vegan diet is very time manageable, and even less so than the conventional way of eating, because cooking and cleaning food takes a long time. So anyways, I use an Omega masticating juicer. It gets the most. You can juice wheatgrass, the ends of carrots, beet greens, so you can really get stuff like, say we're using some parsley, you can even get that stuff. So you get more out of it, and it takes a little longer than, let's say, a Breville, but it keeps the enzymes alive as well, more better, because it doesn't cook or overheat or anything. So I really appreciate it. I prefer it. I've had it for a year and it still does a great job, and the cleanup's pretty simple for me. So in every green juice that I make, and I have 2 of these a day, I fill it up there and I just kind of drink it out of there. It's about 30 ounces. So every green juice I use 2 apples, and that helps sweeten things up, and we'll be cutting that. I usually use half a lemon, and I juice the peels as well, because it can do that. It can juice the whole peel. Some juicers can't, so be careful and read the guidelines of your juicer before you go ahead and put things in and possibly damage your juicer. I'm going to be using some watermelon rinds. What I learned is that the rinds are actually more nutritious than the watermelon, and they can be juiced, and it's not really bitter, so it's a nice way to sweeten the juice a little bit too. It's not sweet like an apple, but it's not bitter. So some things like, dandelion greens are more bitter than others. So usually I use a lot of dandelion greens, but today I want to switch up the greens more. I'm going to be using a whole bunch of collard greens. So that's the collard right there. Let me show you. And then I'll also be using a whole bunch of kale. So a whole bunch of collard greens, a whole bunch of kale, and I'm also going to be using some sprigs of parsley to also switch up the greens, because if you get stuck on the same greens even over and over again, it can run down your immune system. You want a rotation of vitamins and minerals. So I'll be switching up with those. I try to, incorporate different types of greens, even different types of apples, to help switch things up. And I always use a little bit of aloe. Well, not always, but usually use a little bit of aloe, because I live in California, and thankfully, I don't even use a lot, maybe like this much or double that. Thankfully, there's free aloe vera leaf everywhere, literally everywhere. And it's so good for your joints and skin, and the Egyptians revered it for its youth generating properties. So I also use some raw coconut water to kind of chug my green juice with, or if there's a lot of pulpy fiber, which there usually is, I put some of the coconut water in there to get it down. And also, the thing is, there is fiber still in the green juice. I will show you that by the end of drinking it, there's still this layer of fiber. And actually, be prepared for TMI. Brace yourself, because I actually go number 2 after almost every single green juice I make. And I make 2 of these a day, and after, I feel so energized and so much more, I just feel better, more positive, lighter. It's really good because you're giving your digestive system nutrients, blasting them into the cells without digestion. And as you may know, digestion takes about most of your energy requirements are basically digestion. So if you skip that part, you can just get the energy out of the food, and you'll notice after you drink a green juice, you always feel better. Of all the things that I've tried on this raw vegan journey and diet, all the supplements, all the superfoods, all the foods out there, there is nothing in my experience, even a green smoothie, there's just been nothing in my experience that makes me feel so good, so fast, and so much like a fresh pressed green juice. Maybe fresh pressed green smoothies on par, depending on what you put in it. Also, I do like to simplify the green juices as much as possible. Today I'm having like a lot of different ingredients, but I think it's best to be like all kale, 2 apples, a lemon, aloe, like 3 or 4 ingredients at most. But today, I'm fancying it up. In general, with the raw eating, the simpler the better. So what I do to start, as you may have guessed already, is I start cutting up the apples. And while I'll do that, I'll be talking about one of my favorite topics, which is how awesome you will feel when you eat more raw and you eat cleaner. So after a green juice, I usually feel like, sometimes I do it around before I work out, because I usually feel the most energized. I feel more positive, I feel lighter. So I'm cutting this up. So the Omega Masticating Juicer, the nozzle, it's kind of smaller than, let's say, a Breville or other juicers. So you have to make sure things are cut up, you know, pretty small. Turn that on. And you may not hear me very well, hopefully you do. But you're not supposed to go super fast, but also I just kind of do this pace. Once I see something has kind of been pulled through, I just kind of push things down. There we go. So the apples really help sweeten things, and the apple fiber is part of why I think it helps you have a bowel movement. The pectin in the apples helps stimulate your colon, helps get things flowing. Sometimes I'll put pineapple instead to once again try to switch up nutrients and vitamins. Apples are definitely a favorite because they're easy to juice, easy to, you know, you just cut them. Pineapples you have to kind of peel a little bit. So sometimes if I'm in a rush, I won't do it, but I try. And there's a lot of other things that you can juice as well to sweeten things up, like oranges, and you can even put some of the peel or all of the peel in there, which will kind of make it a little bit more bitter. Orange peels and lemon peels are very good for you. They were used a lot in ancient Chinese medicine, teas, all sorts of things for a variety of ailments and conditions. They're high in antioxidants. I mean, this whole juice is high in antioxidants. Like, you could literally drink this juice and it would give you just about every vitamin and mineral, almost every vitamin and mineral you would need. So I juice that up. I juice the apples first because usually the sweeter things, it's best to juice the sweeter things first. But I tend to mix it anyways. It's just kind of what I do. I juice the apples first. Also, a very important thing to know about juices is if you wait more than within 15 minutes of crushing that juice, like after 15, like with around 15 minutes, you already lose half the nutrients. Those vitamins are best to be drank fresh. So I do the apples first because I think the greens are more nutrient dense. So I save those for later. So that way they're more freshly pressed. I get more vitamins. I get more bang for my buck or whatever. So now, if you can see, I'm cutting up the lemon. And I literally put the whole thing in, the peel and all. So that's really good for you. Makes it a little bit more bitter, but not that much. And the funny thing about green juices is the more you get that bitter in, the less you taste it. Like, it's really funny in general. It's like your taste buds literally do acquire taste for the raw. And like before, half the dandelion greens, I could taste the bitter. Now I can put a whole big bunch of dandelion greens. Here's the aloe, very good for you. And I don't even, let me move this camera a little bit. You can see exactly what I'm juicing. That's the aloe. And I just push it down. So you stop tasting that bitter so much. It's kind of like you almost get immune to it. You don't even taste it so much. It's weird. But for example, I have this green superfood powder drink that I make with vitamin mineral greens, which has chlorella, spirulina, all that good stuff. Maca powder, MSM morning mix, and a little bit of other like liver cleansing herbs. And when I first started tasting it, ugh, you know, but now I barely even taste it. So that's what I'm talking about. You not only do you acquire taste for enjoying the fruits and vegetables more, like especially I love eating fruit, but even certain things like cucumbers and tomatoes, you know, I taste them more, I taste the sweetness, I taste all the flavors more, and I appreciate them more, and I want them more. And then with the bitters, I don't taste them as much. I just kind of get, like, I don't even taste it. So you can actually make your juices more bitter as you go along, and you won't taste it. But I would say start off with spinach or even kale. Kale's a little more bitter, and juice is better than spinach, and work your way up in the bitterness. So now I'm juicing some kale. I'm juicing that bunch of kale that I showed you earlier. So the juicer, let me give you a better view. The juicer juices pretty well. I feel like I get a lot out of it, especially if I make sure that it's very, you know, well taken care of, very cleaned out, and I always notice it performs better. I'm pushing this down. I know I'm not supposed to use my fingers so much, but I do a little bit, and not far though. I've always been okay. So this, what we're doing, these greens are really, greens have literally just about every vitamin and mineral you need. It's important to rotate them, get different nutrients, and basically you eat the same thing over and over again, you run down your immune system and you get sick more often, and that's not fun. So just do yourself a favor and rotate the greens. I know we'll probably pick favorites, like kale's a favorite of mine, but then, you know, you gotta force yourself to try other greens and different things, and hey, you might find something you actually like. So I'm juicing these greens right now. As you can see, I'm a little closer. There's some fiber in there already. You see that pulpy stuff? There's already some fiber in there, so I'm not really worried. And I get lots of fiber from the fruit that I eat every day as well. And vegetables, of course. And on top of this, I make a 24-ounce smoothie, so I don't feel like I'm missing out on fiber. And I definitely feel that the green drink is probably the healthiest thing that I eat all day. And I make two of these. I tried to go and make 3, but then I kind of felt like a slave to the juicer, and I have to be home enough to do that. So I decided 2 is fine. A smoothie is good because it's you could just make it and drink it on the go, and there's not as much cleanup. So, I mean, ideally, if you wanted to basically be flying and feel amazing and be in the optimal health, you would be basically drinking smoothies and juices all day. I mean, because liquids, they're the best for your body. Your body, it loves liquids, and once you start trying these, drinking more liquids, you will see what I mean by that. Ultimate energy juice right here. After I drink this, I always feel more positive, I feel more energy, I feel lighter, I feel happier. Right now I'm juicing the collard greens. So the collard greens are a little bit, you know, bitter. So maybe you won't put this whole bunch like I am. And I really recommend to work your way up. I think starting off with like 2 apples and something simple. 2 apples, a bunch of spinach, and a bunch of kale would be great, you know? That would be great. That's all you really need. Like, I know it's fun to put fancy things, but in general, the simpler the better. It's better to digest and more of that, and then your body rotates vitamins and minerals anyways. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm pushing this down. So once it's mostly or somewhat kind of that's juicing right there. So once it's mostly juiced, it looks like this needs a little bit of time. That's fine. Then I put another one in. I'll roll up this one so it doesn't get stuck. So there we go. Best way to start the day ever. When you get up, it's best to drink water first, stay hydrated. And then when you're ready to eat, you ease into eating with a green drink. It's really the best way to start the day. Because, you know, when you're sleeping, you're fasting. Your body's in a fasting state, which is very healing and very beneficial. And then once you wake up, most people, you know, eat unhealthy foods right away. It's best to prolong that fasting state for a little while at least. I mean, don't get too hungry. It's kind of more of an advanced thing to do because if you get too hungry in the beginning, you're going to eat something unhealthy. But drink some water, get hydrated. Wait about maybe an hour before you eat would be nice. For when you wake up, and then start with a green drink. Watermelon after, you'll be feeling so light, you know, you'll be feeling so much lighter, having more energy. You'll probably notice that energy boost. Now remember, sometimes you eat healthy and you detox instead of getting benefits, or you have cravings. So you gotta ride the wave. The beginning is definitely the hardest. Be patient, ride the wave, have faith, know that good things are coming. So right now I'm juicing these watermelon rinds that I save. Great treat for the summer. Watermelon. It really is easiest to go high or full raw right now. It's hotter, so that kind of tends to suppress your appetite. And you got all these hydrating fruits, and variety of fruit is amazing. It's like a candy store. And it's like so liberating to know that you can eat all you want of that and maintain an ideal body weight and have high energy levels, and that the eating is good for you. I think as women we're always taught, oh, eat less and you're better, or you're thinner, or you're healthier. And so we have this weird relationship with food that we develop that is based off deprivation. That was some parsley right there. But with this, you can feel good about eating. You know, you can feel good about eating, and eating in abundance. You can feel good. It's liberating. You know that your food that you're eating is almost working towards, it's like working towards a goal of getting your health back. So eating is good. It's all good once again. So that's really nice, you know, to experience what that's like. So to have a healthy relationship with food, to enjoy it, to feel good about eating it. All right, we're just about done here. I know I enjoy the abundance, having a summer fruit buffet. You can't overeat on this food anyways, because, you know, you get full. Too much fiber. Not too much fiber. I don't know if you can, yeah, you can have too much fiber, but not on this diet. You will have just the right amount, because the fruits and vegetables are built with everything they need in nature. Created the most perfect food for us that has the fiber that you need, the water, the vitamins, the minerals. So you don't have to worry about getting too much or not enough. You eat the whole fresh fruits or vegetables, you'll be fine. I mean, I know the juice is not technically whole, and yes, you lose some fiber, but I'm okay with that because I've been reaping some amazing benefits from it, and I think I have enough fiber the rest of the day, so I think I'm all good, and I think I'm in better health for drinking these juices. Alright, so we're just about done. Something that I like to do is I like to mix it up, because then I mix the sweet with the bitter. Like the apple, as you see, is all the way in the bottom. Alright. See, there's still lots of pulpy fiber. So I do that. And then I get my coconut water ready. I usually chug some. I like to drink as much as I can. As quickly as I can, because I get more vitamins and minerals. But, you know, you don't have to do that. You can drink it as a meal. You don't have to stress yourself out. I don't get stressed by that, but some people would. So don't feel like it's a race. Just get it down within a reasonable amount of time. I wouldn't recommend storing it for more than a few hours or overnight. You won't get as much benefits or vitamins or minerals from it. Okay, so I'm kind of just shaking this out, getting everything that I can, getting the most out of it. All right, so as you can see, I'm going to show you what it looks like. Beautiful. Green, pulpy goodness. All right. So I'm going to take some sips. Yeah, it's not that bitter. Maybe it is, but I taste it less. So I usually chug some coconut water with it, and I'll pause right now and I'll show you a clip of, at the end, you'll see all the pulpy fiber and see more of what I'm talking about. So as you can see, there's lots of pulpy fibers still in there. Lots. So what I usually do is I pour some of this coconut water. I kind of mix it around a little bit, like this. Kind of helps make it less. The fiber is a little bit more bitter, so the coconut water sweetens it. Then I mix it, it helps get it down, so I'm not just drinking froth. So anyways, in terms of the pulp, some people use it as like a stew, or they use it for recipes. I'm 95% raw, so I wouldn't be cooking it. I could, dehydrate or make a recipe, but I choose to just give it back to Mother Earth, so I compost it. And yep, I drink this, I drink it down, and then I clean it up. It's all done in 20 minutes or less. So it is a really powerful, nutrient-dense green juice. It gives you just about every vitamin and mineral. It's like a nutrient blast to your cells. You're going to have more energy. You're going to feel better. If you're not in an ideal weight, you're going to start losing weight and getting closer to the ideal weight. I've known people, remember, the more raw, the more benefits. I've known clients and friends who would tell me that just juicing once a day helped clear their skin, even though they weren't even all vegan or most high raw. Like, just this alone is so powerful that even if you do this once a day, you're still going to reap benefits. So even if you kept your diet the same, but you replaced one meal with this, you're going to reap benefits. Remember, consistency over time and progress over time, you will start noticing a transformation in the mirror in your life, the way you look, the way you feel. And as a common complaint that I've heard is energy. We all want more energy. This is the ultimate energy drink, hands down. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Subscribe for more videos and have a great week. Bye.